Okay, everyone, I don't think I've addressed the axle on this before, so I'll give it a quick go through. This is a Dana 80 out of a 89 Super Duty. It's the same truck that the front spindles, this rear axle, and the engine all came out of, and the transmission as well, so it's the whole shebang. The perch for the springs had to move inward about the width of the bead of weld that held them in place, if I remember correctly. What I did is I just got in there and I cut around and around and around, ground off the weld until it got thin enough on both sides, and I just whacked them side to side until it cracked and broke. And I moved them in. I used the Super Duty tube perches, and I just went to the local truck parts place and had them make up some U-bolts. So they're a little long, and by a little long I mean a lot long, but that's fine. They'll clean up just fine. I have all the brake proportioning valves and shenanigans. I'm going to put all those in, and it'll basically be everything that makes it move will be the 89 Super Duty. I have the sway bar. Don't know if I'm going to put that in the back. I might not. Don't know. Had to back off because this whole project got flooded. They flooded my house, so had to drain everything and clean everything out. I got the factory Y pipe, but I think I'm just going to cut the flanges off and just use those and run a dual. I'm going to run these. Turn those Lakers, flatten out the perforated, and use them for heat shields on some stacks. But yeah, we just used the f350 factory springs. The perches are a little wider. I think what I'm going to do is come down here and weld a little plate to the perch on the side just to kind of keep it from skidding around. Just to kind of keep it from side loading itself and getting all crazy. But that's what we're doing. Plan is to keep a definite cutoff between here's where one is and the other, here's where one ends and the other begins. And these are just some duck goose tires got on it so it'll roll around. And here's the new radiator. It's just been sitting here. And then we got the drive shaft. That rear one's going to have to get extended, but I think this front one I'll be able to mount the carrier bearing right there with their funky plate that they made for the adapter right here. Move that over there, and then we'll be set for that. And I'll just extend that tube out and we'll be good to go. Radiator I gotta fit this week. The only other thing we ran into is when we put the spindles from the 89 on here, is that the angle was either towed way in at the bottom or way in at the top. But according to the book, the way that you correct your camber there is with there's a bracket that went on a big set of brackets that went on the actual I-beam, and then there was a bottle jack. They put a bottle jack on there and physically bend it. I'm going to measure the angle that it needs to change, the amount that it needs to change, take the axle out, take them into the local machine shop, and I'm just going to have them put it in their 100-ton air over hydraulic press and just and clamp it down and onto the table and measure off of the measure the change off the kingpin, and we'll walk it in until it's close enough and not 5 to 7 degrees off. But that's where we're at on this. And we are going to end up moving, or we moved the spindles. The spindles are on the front, and we're going to have it. We're going to have the steering on the front, and the steering box is going to go right here, and we'll be set. We should be good to go clearance wise. And it looks like everything's going to work. Here's hoping.